wanna talk about sports. They need a resource where they can come talk about sports. They really be talk, but we know the facts. Stacks, yeah, that's where it's at. We the hottest on the map. This is take on. This is take on, yeah. They need a resource. We got you, just make up the choice. Who out here making that noise? This our take on sports. This is take on. This is take on. This is take on. This is take on sports.
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. He is your host, Mr. MP80Baby.
That's your host right there, Mr. GPG.
And welcome to
our Take on Sports.
On this podcast, man, we keep you in tune with all the latest information on sports, keep you updated on everything that's going on in the sports world. We never waste no time on this show. We sure ain't gonna do it right now. We're gonna dive right in, man. We got some breaking news that we got to come with straight out the baseball world, man. Juan Soto. Mr. Juan Soto signed a big fat deal today, MP. He signed with the New York Mets, signing a 15-year, $765 million deal. Whoa, that boy got broke off something proper. Like, hey, man, oh my goodness. What you think about that boy signing that fat contract, man?
Overpaid. I really do. I think he overpaid. I mean, the stats show, I mean, he's cool. You know what I'm saying? He's an elite player, but 700, man, that's steep, man. That's kind of steep. I know the Yankees was looking to try to, get him, keep him, or whatever. But I believe they kind of dodged the bullet.
Yeah, the Yankees, man, they went at him too. They went to him with a 16-year, $760 million deal with no deferrals. Now, I guess my man wanted, that less year, 15 years instead of 16 years, extra $5 million, you know what I'm saying, on top of the 760 that the Yankees was offering him. I don't know, man. So you think that the Mets overpaid him? Is that what you're saying?
I think they overpaid him. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, his best year was what, 2019, I believe. Well, hold up, let me go back. So he been bouncing around the league. He, really ain't found no home. His best years was just, this year and last year. So, I mean, I think he's been overpaid. I mean, he hit 41 home runs this year, but he only hit 35. He went through a year in 2022 where he only hit 6 home runs. You see what I'm saying? I know probably injuries or whatever was going on, but you had to look at the numbers. I mean, what you think you're going to get out of him in 15 years? In 15 years, how many of them years you think going to be his best years?
I'm not going to disagree with you, man. I mean, that's a lot of money to be paying a man, and you don't know what he's going to be looking like, in the next 15 years. But if they offering it that kind of bread, man, I'm not going to be mad at them. I'm going to take it too. I mean, when up and you open up your email or your DocuSign, contract, and you see that the New York Mets is offering you this kind of money, you sure ain't gonna turn it down. So, I mean, the Mets are the fools, I guess, for overpaying them and even offering that kind of money. But that's what it is right now. You know how it is, man. The contracts, they start getting bigger and bigger. That's just what it is, man. Congratulations to Juan Soto signing that fat contract. Now I guess all the pressure is on you to live up to it. Maybe you dodged a bullet by not having that pressure being in a Yankees uniform. I mean, the Mets did make it to the playoffs last year, so we'll see how far they can go with this boy, batting behind, some boys over there too that the Mets have, So we'll see, man. We'll move on, man, because we're going to get into this college football, man. College football. Now, we all know that MP is the man, the guru, the man you all want to listen to and get all your college information from is MP80Baby. So while we ain't going to waste no time, MP, give it to him, dog.
Hey, man, well, we're going to start off with the breaking news in college. I know a lot of people was idling and was looking to get in that didn't play in no championship game this past weekend. But I gotta speak on Alabama. You didn't make it. You didn't make it. You didn't make it. You're sitting on the outskirts. I know a lot of y'all mad. A lot of y'all Alabama fans didn't even pick up the line. It's all good, man. You gotta see me. You're gonna see me. You're gonna see me. So let's start off this, man. The people that did make it, that does have a bye. Let's start off with the buys right now. So, you know, my team, Georgia, did get a bye, but we're going to go ahead and go with Oregon that does deserve it. Nobody's taking away from them. They're number one in the nation. They got the first round, their first, you know, pick, whatnot. Then Georgia, number 2. Can't deny that. Boys State, I was happy to see them jump up there. They deserved it. They got a first round bye. And Arizona State out there where you at. They got a first round bye. So those that's going to be playing in these games, these first round battles, you got Clemson, they got to go to Texas. You got Tennessee having to go to Ohio State. SMU having to go to Penn State.
Yeah.
Indiana going to Notre Dame. Now, out of all that, I know you watched some of the games over the weekend. Which one the most caught your eye?
Ooh, all of them, to be honest with you. I mean, I was really pleased with, you know, performances of a lot of the teams, man. Arizona State, what they did to Iowa State, I was really pleased to see what them boys out here at ASU was able to do. That boy Cam Scatterbo, that boy is something, man. You know, something to be watching. Somebody need to be keeping an eye on Arizona State, man. And that boy that's running the ball, man, Scatterbo is putting in that work, man. He had 16 carries for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns the other day against Iowa State. So that was one game that I was definitely keeping my eye on. Georgia, you know, Georgia beating Texas. I mean, everybody was keeping their eye on that if you like college football. I mean, this was the rematch, you know, and Texas was trying to avenge, you know, that loss that they took to them earlier. But Georgia wasn't having that, man. Georgia still did what they did. Trevor Etienne came in, 2 big touchdowns. So I was glad to see him bounce back because they definitely need him. Georgia's a different team when they got Trevor Etienne, man. So I watched that. I watched a little bit of the Oregon and Penn State. You know, that boy Dylan Gabriel, he put in work. 22 of 32, 283 and 4 touchdowns. And I watched a little, and the Clemson beating SMU. Now, SMU did get into the college playoffs, you know, and I was glad to see that, man, over Alabama. You know, I think they deserved it. You know, some people will argue that fact, but Alabama, like they've been saying, man, Alabama ain't got nobody to blame but themselves, MP. I mean, they lost that game to Oklahoma, man. You can't drop the ball in a game like that, man. And that's what they did. And that's the reason why them boys is going to be watching the college playoffs instead of participating in it. And, you know, so what Boise State and UNLV, like you mentioned them, nobody's really talking about Boise State. They just steady winning ball games, man. They won 21-7 over UNLV. So I'm watching all of them. You know, I even watched a little bit of the Army and Tulane game, MP. You know what I'm saying? I watched a little bit of that game, you know. I watched the boys just run the ball like crazy. You know, I mean, when your quarterback is only completing 2 passes, you know what I'm saying, in the game, and you know, ran the ball for 53 times for 338 yards, Army. Oh, yeah, I watched a little bit of that game too. So you be proud of me, man. You be proud of me, man. I was into them college bowl games, man, for real. So I can't wait to see who advanced and see what happens in the next round.
Well, I tell you this, you know, everybody know across the nation right now, Carson Beck for Georgia, the starting quarterback, you know, he went out injured with the shoulder injury. So we still looking on breaking news on that with the MRI that he supposed to have had. So, you know, hopefully on our next show, we'll be talking about that. But do you have a favorite?
No, I don't really have a favorite right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. Oregon looked like a track team out there, and you know what I'm saying. They're the number 1 team for a reason. Them boys, every time they get the ball, they explosive, man, and they just look dangerous, man. So I don't have a favorite in it. I do like the way they're playing, but matchups, you know, football is about matchups, man. So depending on what matchup they get, you know what I mean, in that next round, we'll have to see then. But I don't really have a favorite, but I do like the way Oregon is playing. Plus, I love their jerseys, man. Their jerseys is dope.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. They do play the winner out of Tennessee and Ohio State. So, like you said, it's all about matchup, you know. So we'll see. We'll see. Arizona State play the winner out of Clemson and Texas. Boise State play the winner out of SMU and Penn State. And Georgia get the winner out of Indiana and Notre Dame. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I don't really want to speak on too much because I don't want to put them other teams down, like Indiana, you know, going up against Notre Dame. I mean, I could pretty much tell you who I think gonna win it, but we'll see what happens and see if they even get to that point. If they get to that point, I'll be more than happy to give you my opinion on that one. Y'all, we ain't gonna keep y'all waiting. We're gonna move on to the NFL, man. We had some big NFL that jumped off this week, man. Starting off with the Thursday night game. My Green Bay Packers played the Detroit Lions Thursday night, man, and it was a great game. We ended up losing that one, you know, on the last second field goal that the boys ended up kicking, 34-31, man. It was a great game. We started off a little slow in that game, man. What you think of that game, man?
It was a great game. I mean, it's, you know, to be expected. I mean, what, two divisional rivalries, so you guys pretty much know each other. So I figured that it was going to be, you know, come down to the wire. I just, you know, I was hoping you guys was going to finally get a win against one of these big, you know what I'm saying, top divisional opponents that's in you guys' division. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we tried, man, you know, no excuses. You know, that's what we're not going to do. You know, it is what it is with the injuries in the injury report. They got injuries. We got injuries. Can't make that out, you know, out to be an excuse because you still got people out there playing. Jordan Love just started off a little slow in the first half. He got it going in the second half. I thought we played pretty good in the second half. I just think we got to put a full game together to beat one of these teams, man. You can't, you know, that big fumble of Christian Watson that hurt. You know, that was big, man, when we was actually in their territory to get some points. You know what I mean? And them going for it on 4 or 5 fourth down on that ball either, because he knew what we was going to do if we'd have got that ball, man. So, but yeah, we'll move on, man. Hopefully we can meet them in the playoffs. We still got to get there. We still got work to do. We got Seattle coming up next, and that's going to be a tough one, for real, for real. We ain't going to talk about every single game, but we will elaborate on some of them. The Saints beat the Giants 14-11, late field goal. Tip was blocked by the Giants. Saints held on. Congratulations, Saints. Steelers beat the Browns 27-14. Now, I want to get your opinion on this one, MP. Russell Wilson and the Pittsburgh Steelers look good, man. They look real good, man. Are they going to win that division over the Baltimore Ravens, or are they going to find a way to lose it at the end of the season?
They look damn good, and I believe they were just warming up at the right time. I definitely believe they got enough to win their division. I trust in Russ. That's all I can say.
The way he's playing, I mean, how can you not?
Man.
I mean, everybody, you know, wrote him off for dead, you know, at the beginning of the season, at the end of his Denver tenure. You know, everybody just wrote him off and said Russ couldn't do this. You know, the only thing that Russ was, you know, good for was bringing Sierra with him to everywhere he was going, you know, and that's all they were saying about him. And Russ is going out there and he's doing the thing, man. And he didn't even have his top receiver yesterday. So, you know, have to give it up for him. He ended up avenging that loss that he took in that snow game, you know, that you highlighted on the last show, one of our shows that we had, you know, and he avenged that loss, man. So I'm gonna agree with you on this one, MP. That's for real, man. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers got enough to win that division. The one thing they are playing is defense, and Baltimore just ain't playing enough of that right now. Yeah. We'll move on, man. We'll move on because we did have the Minnesota Vikings upsetting your Atlanta Falcons, man. Now, we all seen what happened, you know. I ain't going to say too much because that's your boys. So I want you to tell our audience Exactly your opinion. Give them your take on that game, MP.
WTF. That's all I can say. Like, I mean, you got to win out at this point. You got to win out. If you don't win out, Tampa Bay will take the division because they are rolling. And Baker Mayfield is looking scary because he don't even have his top receivers. The defense is playing good. So in order for the Falcons to even be a contender, they have to go and beat Raiders and Washington. You got to. These upcoming games you're gonna have to get, and you're gonna have to go downhill and go beat them Giants and beat Carolina. There's no dang on excuse. If y'all don't do it, then all this talk is, it was a bust getting Kirk Cousins this season, trying to, win a division, spending all the money on the defense that they spent anyway. I mean, it's not looking too good. I mean, Judon just get his first sack, this past game against the Vikings. And the one thing I can't say, I mean, we criticized them all year about getting sacks, but we was winning games. Now we getting sacks. We can't win the dang on game. So I don't know, man. I'm not going to elaborate too much on it, but the one thing I can say is these next 4 games are critical. If you don't win them, you out the playoff hunt. I can say that. They barely holding on.
Sam Darnold had a great game. He went in there 22 of 28, 347 yards, and 5 touchdown passes. 5 touchdown passes, Atlanta defense. You said something that kind of, blew my mind a little bit. Matthew Judon, his first sack of the season. I mean, that's really surprising. I mean, I try to follow all the teams and, everything that's going on, but that stat really blows me away, man. I mean, when they got him from New England, I thought that he was going to be that guy that put that pressure on the quarterback, man, that stopped the Atlanta Falcons from having to blitz. And for you to tell me that that's his first sack of the season, that's really surprising, man. I mean, and then also letting Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison get loose. 7 catches, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson, 8 catches, 133 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jordan Addison. I mean, everybody's talking about the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles, and some people are talking about us, the Green Bay Packers in the NFC, and ain't nobody saying nothing about the Minnesota Vikings. You better watch that team, man. They did a great job yesterday on a solid Atlanta Falcons team, man. I'm a little surprised by that, man. I thought Kirk was going to do something. But you did bring up something about Baker Mayfield and that Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. We're going to dive right into them, too, because they ended up beating the Las Vegas Raiders 28-13 to take the lead in that NFC South division. Right. Now, you did mention a little bit about that Tampa Bay team, man. How worried are you about them boys, man?
Oh, man, I'm very worried. I'm very worried. It's every week it's looking like we struggling even more to score, and that's not a healthy trend. I don't know what's going on about the play calling. It's certain plays that, for instance, I'm just Tampa Bay looking scary, man. I mean, they just look scary right now. I mean, I got to give it up to Baker. I don't really, of course, care for Tampa Bay, but as an individual, Baker, what a career, man. The dude he has done and land where he has landed and make a home in Tampa Bay and doing it without his, with none of his top receivers it's amazing, man. I mean,
he did get his boy Mike Evans back. So he is working with him. Chris Godwin, he is gone, but what he's doing with a little bit, with just the one receiver and the running back. I mean, they got that boy Cade Otton out there, the tight end that's plays. And Baker's doing, Baker just making it work, man. He's just swinging that thing, man. He going out there, man, and you're gonna have to knock Baker out. Baker, one of them guys, man, that you just gonna have to knock him out because he gonna keep fighting. You just gonna literally have to knock Baker Mayfield out. And that's just it, man. And if you don't, he gonna keep swinging and keep swinging and keep swinging. And one of these times he gonna end up knocking you out. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of player and he is, man. I gotta give it up for him. I said it before on this show, and I'll say it again, man. Baker Mayfield is a fighter, man, and I like his fight. We'll move on, man, because the Philadelphia Eagles did beat the Carolina Panthers 22-16. Did you catch a little bit of that game, man?
I didn't. I wasn't even expecting nothing less but a win for the Eagles. So,
and you know what's crazy is that it was anything but that. I mean, everybody thought that the Philadelphia Eagles it was going to go in there and it was just going to be a cakewalk over the Carolina Panthers. But the Carolina Panthers actually had a chance to win that game at the end, man. Bryce Young did have the ball in his hands at the end, and if he could have got that score at the end, they played, they would have won that game. They held Saquon down a little bit, man. I mean, Saquon is Saquon, he gonna get out, But the story of the day is the disruption that's going on in the locker room with Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, man. So Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, they seem like they beefing a little bit, They asking them, is it the chemistry at this time of year? AJ Brown is coming out saying the problem with the Philadelphia Eagles right now is the passing game. He said it bluntly, like him and Jalen Hurts might have a little beef going on, man. What you think about that?
Wow, man, that's deep there, man. That's trouble in paradise if that is true. Man, shoot. I mean, whoever's they give room for somebody else in the NFC. That's all I can say. I mean, I'm all for it. Break down, man. Break all the way down. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But that's definitely news to me. But I mean, I can see it. Why not? I mean, you get tired of seeing the push tush, these wide receivers want the ball too. Like, that you got all the glory last year on all that. You ran for all these touchdowns off that. Let's get some plays, work me in some of these short plays and screens and stuff like that. So, I mean, we just was talking about what? Another quarterback running the ball all the dang on time and not trying to throw it, Justin Fields. So, and that's why they came in with, Russell Westbrook. Westbrook. What I'm talking about? Wilson. Yeah. So, come on. It only makes sense to me.
I watched a little bit of that game, and there were some plays where AJ Brown was wide open, literally wide open. And all Jalen Hurts has to do is deliver the ball. And he sat there, watched them be wide open, and then scramble out of the pocket. I mean, these are plays that you can't do that, man. You have to execute. And like you said, these are Pro Bowl wide receivers. AJ Brown is a great wide receiver. Devontae Smith is a great wide receiver. They want the ball too. You know what I mean? And like you said, featuring Saquon Barkley so much, hey, that's great. They love it. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of crazy. You don't see too much. You don't see this disruption on a team that's actually winning. I mean, these guys are winning games, and this is what you're seeing in their locker room. I'm a little worried about them because that was the Carolina Panthers that they played yesterday. That wasn't Detroit. That wasn't Minnesota. That wasn't Green Bay. That wasn't Tampa Bay. That wasn't Atlanta. That wasn't one of these teams that go Washington that may give them a little push. You know what I mean? So get it together, Philly, or else you guys may be going home a little early, man. Playoffs is right around the corner, We will move on because we did have the Jacksonville Jaguars defeating the Tennessee Titans 10-6. We want to elaborate on that game. The Miami Dolphins did beat the New York Jets 32-26 in overtime. Now, I got a question for you on this one, MP. Will the Miami Dolphins find a way to sneak into the playoffs?
It's a chance. They can. They went out. They right in the hunt. The way I see them sitting, they not too far. They need one team to mess up. One team to mess up. And like I know, it's any given Sunday, so you got 4 games left. They can't sneak in. They can sneak in. I believe it. What about you?
I believe so too. I have to agree with you on that one. I have to agree with you, man. Looks like their remaining schedule, they got the Houston Texans. They're inside a dome in that game. So Weather won't be an issue for that game, and you won't have to worry about that. Then they're back at home against the 49ers. In Miami, I believe they can beat anybody in Miami. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Even though the 49ers are coming off, a nice big win, over the weekend. This is a different Miami team when they're at home. So I'll give them give them a chance to win that game. Then they got to go to Cleveland, and then they got to go to the Jets. Now, that's two cold weather games, outside, but Cleveland ain't doing nothing. I don't see why Miami can't go out there and utilize the run game and try to beat them. And the New York Jets, we all seen what happens with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers might not even be playing with week 17. He might be sitting out done for the year, man, and trying to give somebody else some play. So we'll have to see at the end of the season, but right now, it looks like the Miami Dolphins can sneak in the playoffs, man. I mean, the only team they really got to worry about is the Indianapolis Colts. So, there's a couple other teams that still, are in the hunt, in the AFC. I'm not going to discount you, Chargers and things like that. But we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be interesting here the next couple of weeks, man. We'll move on because we did have another big game in the NFC West. The Seattle Seahawks beat the Arizona Cardinals 30-18 to take control of that division out there in the NFC West, man. What you think gonna happen when it's all said and done with the Rams, with the Seahawks, with the Cardinals in that division? Who's coming out of there?
Man, it's so hard because I know you're about to get to the game, but you see the 49ers put on a big game like that, and the division is so close. I mean, like I said, there's only 4 games left. And can you see the Seahawks just taking a role and winning at least 3 out of the 4 games and really taking control of that division? Or will the Cardinals finally wake up and just go on a roll? I mean, all of them about a game. They all about a game within the Seahawks. So it's kind of hard to really say. I mean, they all about even in that division to me.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough, MP. I mean, wow. 1 minute you look like the Seattle Seahawks are about to run away with it. First it looks like the Arizona Cardinals about to run away with it, and then Seattle comes back stomping, and then they take control of the division, and then the Rams with all their injuries that they had earlier. Now they getting healthy. Puka Nacua had the game of his life yesterday. And now you got him healthy. You got Cooper Kupp healthy. Kyron Williams is running. I mean, it is so hard. And you could never discount and count out the 49ers, which I hate because I want to count the 49ers out because I don't want to see them in the playoffs. I don't, man. I don't want to see them. And for obvious reasons, why a Green Bay Packer fan do not want to see no San Francisco 49er in the playoffs, man. We don't want to see them. I'd rather see anybody. I don't want to see them. So we'll see what happens, man. That division is, like you said, it's so tight, it's so loaded, man. I just don't know. I really don't know, man. I would say I don't. For selfish reasons, I would love the Arizona Cardinals to come out of that division just because that will mean the Packers will have to come here to play the game, and I'll be able to go to the playoff game. So for selfish reasons, I hope the Arizona Cardinals do come out of it. But if I got to pick a team to come out of that division, man, shoot, man. I might have to go with the Rams, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I may have to, man. I hate to pick the Niners. I do. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll move on, man. We'll move on because we are talking about the Rams that did beat the Buffalo Bills yesterday, 44-42. Now, that was a great game. I'm sure you saw it. Give me your take on that game, MP.
No defense. No defense. I mean, it was a good game. We saw 2 great quarterbacks. Josh Allen he did a Sam Donald. That's what he did yesterday. It just wasn't enough to get their win against the LA Rams, who just seemed to be heating up at the right time. And again, that's why I can't, speak on that division because they all just, any given Sunday, that's what you'll get. You'll get that type of team. And so, I mean, they all have those type of weapons and a defense that can be above average on any given Sunday. So, I mean, yeah, the Rams did what they supposed to do. I mean, to many it was shocking, but you and I know the talent that's on that team, and that's nothing to take away from.
You're right. You're right. The Rams is loaded with talent, man. They really are, man. I'm surprised that Buffalo, wasn't able to get the job done, being at what they had did, with the Chiefs and some other big games that they had played. But like I said, man, the Rams, like you said, the Rams got weapons, man. The Rams got weapons, man. And my biggest question is, I hear them talking on TV about Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen. That's all you hear. And I want to get your take on this question. Is Josh Allen still the MVP? Is he your MVP front runner? I mean, this man scored, 6 touchdowns yesterday, 3 running, 3 passing, even in a losing effort. Is he your MVP going forward?
I mean, it's tough to argue against it. I mean, if you're looking at it in the style played, what type of weapons have he don't have certain weapons that these other teams have. So if you're looking at it in the structured way, I mean, that's kind of hard to argue against. Like, I mean, to me, I didn't give him at the beginning of the season. I was laughing at a guy who picked Josh Allen as his keeper, because I was like, who will he be throwing to? Like, but exactly my point. He has done exactly what we've seen people like Baker Mayfield do and things of that such. That's what elite quarterbacks have to do. You rise to the occasion, but not just that. You make other players around you better, right? And so, yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with that at this stage. I mean, we still got 4 games, but yeah, I mean, he's leading to me.
Yeah, he's definitely leading it to me too, man. I mean, I can't even add nothing to it, man. You're absolutely right. I agree with you 1,000%. Saquon Barkley is a close second. If Saquon Barkley ends up breaking, that rushing record of Eric Dickerson, then I will say Saquon Barkley is the MVP of the league. That's a 40-year-old record that if he breaks that, I'm going to give it up for Saquon on that one, but only if he breaks that record. Especially unless Josh Allen and them fold in these next 4 games. Like you said, we have to see what these next 4 games do. So we'll move on, man. But the San Francisco 49ers did beat the Chicago Bears 38-13. Brock Purdy completed 20 of 25, 325 yards and 2 touchdowns. George Kittle has 6 catches, 151 yards. Did you look at that game at all?
I did see some of it. I was watching some of it on Red Zone, and man, I was happy for the 49ers, man. I was happy that they finally got some type of clicking together on their offense and everything, because for the last couple of weeks, they was looking kind of, subject, especially with Christian McCaffrey going down again and not knowing what you was going to get. So I'm excited for them. I mean, if they go on a roll, who knows what can be.
You're right. You're right. Like I said, man, I do not want to see the 49ers nowhere near the playoff picture. But these 4 games is going to decide a lot over there in the NFC West. They did what they're supposed to do to the Chicago Squares. Yeah, that's what I called y'all Squares, because that's exactly what y'all play like. Y'all know y'all ain't getting no love from me on this show. I ain't finna start, and I ain't finna give you none right now. Chicago Squares, and that's exactly what y'all gonna stay as. I'm a Packer fan. You know how we get out. We're going to move on, man. We're going to move on. Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs won their game 19-17. And all they do is win, no matter what. I swear they do, man. Even if they got a bank of field goal in off the upright, bouncing in, they still find a way to get it done. They beat the Chargers last night, man. What you think of that game, MP?
I couldn't believe it. I just knew they was about to lose as soon as I saw that ball curve. And I was like, oh, it's up. And then, hey, like I said, somehow, some way, the kicker can't, he can't do nothing wrong. So it got to be magical. I told you sometimes it's just magical like that.
You did. You sure did. You sure did it. And right now, I'm a believer. I'm a believer. Look, man, until somebody knock them boys off, man, that's the best team in football. That's just what it is. They just find a way to get the job done. And it's, I was looking at their schedule and the teams that they beat. They beat some boys, man. It ain't like they going through scrub teams, man. Them boys is beating some boys, man. They beating teams with winning records, teams that are in the playoffs, teams that are, on their way trying to get into playoffs, teams with MVP caliber players on their team. All they do is win, man. That's it. It's just win. That's all Mahomes know how to do. And until somebody find a way to knock him off that pedestal, the Kansas City Chiefs is the team to beat. And that's just what it is. We got a game going on tonight, man. We got a game, man. The Cincinnati Bengals going down to Jerry World, man. They going down to see them Dallas Cowboys. What you think, man? Are they going to be stomping in the Cowboys? Are they going to be stomping at AT&T Stadium tonight? Or is Joe Burrow and them going to roll up in there and put a butt whooping on them Cowboys, man? What's going to happen?
I'm excited to see what Jamal Chase do. I believe the Bengals should be able to take care of business, but who knows? I mean, Dallas have won. They, been finding some type of, Mike Persons trying to get back in rhythm. So they trying to find some type of rhythm. So this type of game, you never know. I mean, both of them haven't really been playing good ball. So, but I expect, Joe Burrow and them to go down there and win one.
Man, they better. They better. I expect Joe Burrow and them to go down there and win too. I know that Cincinnati's defense ain't been the greatest, so Dallas may be able to do a little something. But Dallas's offense ain't been no good either. So what that mean? If Dallas's offense ain't no good, what difference does it make if Cincinnati's defense ain't no good? You know what I'm saying? So I expect Joe Burrow and them to go down there and light them boys up, man. Jamar Chase has been on that tear, at the wide receiver position. T. Higgins is back. He's healthy. Man, them boys going to go down there, man, and do what they do in Jerry World, man. They going to kick the Cowboys' butt, in my opinion. Man, I got them boys putting up 44-20. That's what I think the final score going to be, man. So unless you got something else, MP, where we at? How much time we rolling with?
Man, we got 3 minutes left.
All right, man. So this is what you got for me, man? What you got for me?
That's gonna be it, man. That's gonna probably be it for the show. Until we see what's going on with these college games here in a couple of weeks. That's gonna be probably all for college. We're gonna be getting with y'all shortly all into this basketball.
Yes, sir.
Basketball. So, man, other than that, man, me. That's my boy over there, and y'all host. That's Mr. GPG.
All right. And that's my man right there, Mr. MP80Baby.
And this is
our Take on Sports.
All right, man. We see y'all, man. We love you. Like, subscribe, and follow.
All right, my man. Peace.
Hey, MP, what they talking about? They talking about what? They talking about sports. Oh, really? Well, this is all. Out on the field, the ball on no courts. They wanna talk about sports. They need a resource where they can come talk about sports. They really be talking, but we know the facts. Stacks, yeah, that's where it's at. We the hottest on the map. This is our take on. This is our take on. Yeah, they need a resource. We got you, just make up the choice. Who out here making that noise? This our take on sports. This is our take on. This is our take on. This is our take on. This is our take on sports.